Yeah, it's really nice. We've obviously had 3 tests in the last year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for us, it's obviously quite a lot. And I think it's probably my 10th test, and I feel like me as a player, I've started to really get my head around how I approach it, have a real method about how I go about my batting and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's nice to play a few more. There's still really special occasions as players. Absolutely love playing them down at Taunton as well. It's a great place to play, and we've obviously got the challenge of playing with a Red Duke as well, which we've never done before. So that's something a bit fresh, and obviously getting used to that at training this week and how it behaves and how we're going to bowl with it. But yeah, there's a real buzz around the side. It's really nice to get a week worth of prep in of just Red Bull stuff, because obviously, like you say, we don't do it very often.
Now, what was your reaction to quotes from the ICC a couple of weeks ago suggesting that women's Test cricket wasn't something that was necessarily that much of a priority?
Sad, yeah, it made me sad, really. And I think as a player, I obviously want to play it, and I think Test cricket is seen by a lot of people as the pinnacle. It's marketed as the pinnacle quite often, seen as the best, the most challenging form of the game, which I definitely agree with, and I think probably sends not a great message that the ICC or the comments from Greg suggested that women shouldn't be playing it. I think that's quite a dangerous message to send, that women shouldn't be playing in the future what's seen as the pinnacle of the game. So yeah, look, I'm sure it wasn't that well thought through potentially, and I think we shouldn't limit what women's cricket can be and what it can do. And I think with the right conditions and the right players, as we saw in Canberra, I think women's Test match cricket can be really exciting and a great spectacle. And yeah, look, we're looking to put on as good a show as we can next week, and obviously try and win that game.
Just finally from me, it's been 14 years since England played a Test match with neither Catherine Brunt nor Anya Shrubsole. Those are pretty big boots to fill. Yeah,
they are. They're certainly going to leave some holes in the team. But what a chance for some of the young players. There's some really top young seamers coming through, and it's a chance for them to go and put their mark on Test cricket and show that they deserve to take on the mantle from Anya and Catherine in obviously only Red Bull cricket at the moment. But yeah, I'm really excited for them to see how they go. Sorry, there's a bit of a kerfuffle going on behind. To see how they go, and I think they're itching at the bit to get out there and show off their skills in Red Bull cricket.
Thanks, Emma.
Thanks, Henry.
Thanks, Henry. Phil at PA, please.
Hi, Heather. Thanks for your time. Obviously, you asked about Test cricket there. Do you feel there's more scope in the calendar to play a little bit more Test cricket?
I think so. I think it's worked really well as part of a multi-format series. I think it gives the Test match context. If you have one Test match on its own, it's hard to see a context. But I think in the as part of the multi-format series, so 3 one-days, 3 T20s, as we're playing with South Africa, I think it works really well. And I think it keeps women's Test match cricket alive. And as players, we get to learn our craft a little bit. We don't play any multi-format cricket in domestic stuff. So you're kind of learning on the job, particularly for the players coming in, trying to learn how you go about things, how your skills need to be used slightly different to white ball cricket. But yeah, I certainly think there's scope. Obviously, T20 cricket has been where the women's game has really grown and developed commercially in particular. But I still think there's room for white ball cricket and the purest form of the game for us to play.
And you mentioned there you got a few new faces. I mean, how do you feel sort of the talent pool is looking in English cricket, English women's cricket at the moment?
Really good. Going back and playing in the Charlotte Edwards Cup and playing some domestic T20 stuff, I've really noticed the standard go up. It's been great, actually. Really exciting. There's some great young talent coming through, and it just feels just so much more professional. I think the fact that the professional domestic system is embedded now. It's been going for a couple of years. Those girls have had a real chance to train, and I've really seen the depth improve, the skill level. And for us as England players going back into it, it feels not too far away from an international. So in terms of prep for series and stuff, it's really good for us, and also creates that competition, which is brilliant. It's what we need to keep pushing forward. So yeah, exciting times, and hopefully some fresh faces in the team will show what they can do.
And just one more from me. I don't think South Africa have played a lot of Test cricket for some time, much Test cricket. I mean, do you feel you sort of, I suppose you have the tag of favourites down in Taunton? You'd be able to handle that?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. We're obviously playing potentially quite a few debutants as well, and going to have, particularly in terms of the seam attack, quite an inexperienced seam attack. So yeah, I don't know if we'll be favourites. They've obviously got a lot of really good world-class players. They've got a very good seam attack. They've got world-class batters in Wolvart and Lee as well. So yeah, I don't know if we'll be favourites. I think the fact that they haven't played Test cricket recently, I think it'd be really interesting to see how they approach it, how they go about it. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great battle. They're a quality team. They showed how good they are in the World Cup. They're consistently making semi-finals of competitions now. So yeah, I'm just excited to get going and hopefully take them on.
Thanks very much. All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Gomesh, please.
Yes. Hi, Heather. This is Gomesh from India. Learning on the job, is something that you're always associated with respect to Test cricket, obviously because of the lack of multi-day domestic cricket and other things. But the last time England played Test cricket, it was in the literal sense because of the last-minute schedule change. This time, how has been the preparation, given the fact that it's the first on the fixtures and start of a home season? How has been the preparation going on? Have you had multiple camps? How has it been going?
Yeah, it's been going well. We met up at Taunton this week, and obviously our focus is completely Red Bull stuff, which is quite nice. The test we played in Canberra, I think we had 2 days to prep going in from a T20 series for that test match. So it's quite nice to have that bit of extra time, get used to the rhythms and the flows of Test cricket. And I think for me, the most important thing is getting our mentality right. Obviously, it's still a bat and a ball. It's just managing different situations better, being able to repeat your skills for longer, being able to cope with whatever is going on in the game and adapt to it, and the multiple different situations you do get in Test cricket, which you don't get in white ball cricket. So yeah, it's gone really good. It's been quite a fresh-faced team as well, so there's been a lot of energy, which has been quite refreshing and quite nice. So yeah, the preparation's been good. We've got the rest of the week preparing, lots of middle practice and scenario stuff, and obviously honing in on that 11 that we're going to pick, and how we're going to go about the game starting on Monday.
Also, I just wanted to ask, there are a lot of new faces, as you mentioned, and it's a bit of a transition of sorts with respect to the pace attack, as well as we'll have a new opening partner with Tammy Beaumont as well. So what kind of conversations the team management has been having with the young players who have been coming into the squad with very little experience of international cricket and are, possible test debut?
Well, first of all, just making them feel comfortable and letting them know they're here because they deserve to be, and because of their performances for the domestic in the domestic setup, and because we think they've got really good potential. So yeah, first of all, it's doing that, and then talking a little bit to them about Red Bull cricket, because a lot of them won't have played any Red Bull cricket, maybe a couple of England A warm-up games in previous seasons, but yeah, trying to chat to them about how they see themselves in the side, and how they see their role, I guess, and how they're going to execute their skill in the Red Bull game, as opposed to the white ball, which we play quite often. But yeah, it's certainly given me a lot of energy, having the chance to try and help those guys translate what they've done in domestic cricket to try and do it, obviously, in an England shirt.
Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gomesh. Valkyrie, please. Hello, Valkyrie.
Sorry, am I there now?
Yes, got you.
My apologies. You've played some great test innings yourself, Heather. What do you put that down to, and what sort of things do you do to get yourself in the frame for a good test innings?
Yeah, I feel like I've started to get a real method of how I want to do things, the sort of rhythm and pace of my innings, and I think just mentally preparing how you're going to go about it, how you're going to manage different situations, start of the innings, how going to score runs in the middle. And I think I found that balance between defence and attack a little bit more in my last few tests. I think when you first play Test cricket, I think suddenly I felt like I had to be really defensive, and it was about batting time. Whereas I think now I found the balance a bit more of actually, right, how am I going to score runs? How am I going to do my main job of scoring runs alongside, obviously, managing potentially if the ball's moving a little bit more, we might have to soak up pressure. So yeah, I think just getting the right rhythm for me, having a lot of time in the nets, getting used to the red ball, which obviously moves a little bit more, and getting used to the Dukes now, which we're going to play with next week. But yeah, I love the challenge of batting in Test match. I just love batting and love the chance to just keep batting. Often in ODI or T20 cricket, obviously you're looking to get on with it and take a few more risks. Whereas in Test match, I feel like it's really about making those big hundreds, those big scores that are going to try and influence and help the team win matches.
And just one more, just with the benefit of playing a really competitive Test match as recently as January, what sort of learnings did you take from that match, and do you think the team took from that match that you can take forward next week?
I think lots. I think we found ourselves in slightly different situations, but I thought the way we approached that game in Canberra is exactly how I want us to approach the game we've got next week. I want us to, as batters and bowlers, to try and take the game forward at any opportunity we got. And I think the way we nearly chased down that total in Canberra was brilliant. Obviously, it didn't quite end how we wanted it to, but I think if we can take, as players, if we can take the game forward as much as we can, give the team the best chance to try and win that match, I think that's going to stand us in good stead to hopefully win a Test match, because obviously the last few have been draws, and we've spoken about it this week that next week is a really good opportunity for us as a side to obviously go out and actually win that Test match rather than it be a draw or whatever it might be.
Thanks so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Valkyrie. Nick, please.
Hi, by me, sorry. Hi, I just touching on the Duke's balls. I mean, what kind of difference have you felt just, I guess, in preparation the last week or so, just training with them, batting against them, and I guess facing bowlers who haven't bowled with them as well?
They actually feel a bit smaller, weirdly. The seam is more pronounced. They definitely bounce a little bit more, stay harder for longer. And with the new ball, it tends not to swing massively straight away. I think we've probably found it's about 5-6 overs before the lacquer comes off that they really start to swing around and you can shine them up. But I think it's a really good move for women's Test cricket. I think you always feel like you're in the game a little bit as a bowler with the ball being a little bit harder. But I think also as a batter, you get really good value for shots. And I think that was what made the Canberra Test. Obviously, we used the Kookaburra, but I think that's what made the Canberra Test quite exciting. The fact that the pitch carried, there was always a little bit in it for the bowlers. But as a batter, you felt like you could score quickly and you got good value for your run. So I think that's an important component for the women's game to make Test cricket really exciting and really great to watch. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. It's certainly going to be a different challenge. I think the bowlers in particular are enjoying playing with the Dukes a little bit more because they are a little bit more tricky to manage as a batter.
And on the pitch, I guess the last couple of tests here, there's been a lot of discussion around him. Have you, presumably it's too early to have had a proper look at it, but have you had discussions with the groundsman about what he's expecting from it? And do you know what you're playing with?
Not yet. No, we haven't been training at the ground because obviously the Somerset guys have got a few games and stuff. We'll be there at the weekend. So I haven't had a chance to chat with the groundsman or have a look at the pitch yet. But I'm sure we will do.
Just finally, if you're on, obviously Anya and Catherine not involved in this one, but Tim McDonald's leaving in August. I mean, how big impact has he had on, I guess he was a group and on the bowlers as well? And I guess in presumably a difficult couple of years, having not really been able to get home very much as well. I mean, how big a loss will he be when he moves on too?
Yeah, it'll be a big loss. Mac is a big part of obviously what we do. I think he's made brilliant strides with the bowlers. He's probably the first consistent bowling coach that bowling group has had for a long time, and they really needed that consistency of voice and message. And yeah, I've really loved working with him as well. I found him really useful to bounce ideas off, and he's a massive badger and absolutely loves the game and loves watching cricket pretty much all the time. So he has a wealth of knowledge and experience, and I've certainly seen him grow in the role. So yeah, we'll definitely miss him. He's obviously got a great opportunity and one that means he can go home. It's been pretty tough for him and Lisa, obviously with COVID not being able to get back and having a lot of time away from their families. So yeah, we'll be very sad to see him go, but I think it's the right move for him as a person.
Cheers, Heather. Thanks. Good luck.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Fionn, please, and then we'll end with you, Mo, here after Fionn.
Yeah, just one from me. I want to go back to what you were saying about the domestic game, and kind of touching upon the selection of somebody like Alice Davidson-Richards, who's obviously making her way back in the team after a few years out. Is that something that you're kind of hoping to see a little bit more from now, 3 years into the domestic competitions, that we're really going to be able to reap the benefits of that?
Definitely, I think we're seeing it already. I think selection the last 12 months or so, there's been a lot more names that we've talked about, a big wider pool of players that have been putting their hands up and we've been talking about. So yeah, that's great. I think example like Alice is a really good one. She obviously played for England in white ball cricket 3-4 years ago, I think. So for her to obviously have the consistency of a domestic setup, consistency of training, and having a competition where she can show off what she can do, I think is a really good example of how it will work. And I think it's really going to push us forward as a team, having that competition underneath, and sometimes a bit of pressure, feeling like there's someone coming for your place a bit, really enables players to kick on and make the most of their chances, which hopefully we'll do.
Yeah, and looking, kind of similarly to the A squad as well that are playing at the moment, how important is that for the more established players in the team to now have that competition for places, to kind of have, and also have that layer where it's not just, if you're in the squad, you're in, and if you're not, there's nothing. How important is that for you guys?
Yeah, really important. Like I said, that competition is only going to be good for Team England and pushing us forward. And I think it's been really tough over COVID for the players not playing as well. They haven't been able to go back and play a lot of cricket. So I think now the fact that it's so easy to move in and out of the environment now is just normal. So that gives players that aren't playing the opportunity to actually get some context, to play some cricket, and not just sit on the bench, which can be really tough as a player. So yeah, that's a quite a nice thing. And obviously that A game as well is quite a young team, which is quite exciting. And yeah, I checked the score recently. I know they were 6 down, and Georgia and Maddie were going well. Hopefully they're still together.
Cool, thanks, Heather.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fionn. Mohit, please.
Thanks, Hen. Heather, my question was that Charlie Dean debuted in the last test that you played in Canberra. Since then, she's come a long way. She bowled really well in the second innings of that match, and then through the World Cup and also in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. So how pleasing has her growth been in the last 6 months or so?
Yeah, it's been good. I feel like she's learned quite a lot as well about herself as a bowler, and she's had some really good experiences and some slightly tougher experiences. So I think that will help her grow massively as a cricketer. She's got a great vibe about her. She's really competitive, I think, as well, and is quite smart in terms of how she bowls and how she tries to read batters and get them out. And as an off spinner, she adds that really attacking option, which sometimes you don't get with off spinners. But yeah, I've been really impressed with her, and I know she's got a huge amount of potential with the bat as well. She probably needs a bit more time to hone that and develop as a batter. But yeah, she's certainly been a great find for us, a good young player that's come in and has made an impact in a lot of the games that she's played, which is what we're looking for.
Thank you so much, and all the best for the test.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mohit. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thanks very much, Heather.